Huh. How do you change that? Streaming software, visibility. Okay. Lean. This button. Configure Stream Deck. Lean. Just go to arm. Cool. Hey guys, I'm going live. Check. Levels. Check, 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 checkity-doo. I gotta check the stream too. How do I do that? Chrome file, new. Instance? No. Try doing Safari. Oh, hi, everybody. How you doing, longtime viewer? Hilarious Truths, Iron Vampire, Theo64, JR's Junior Snow Photo, Greg the Lover says Clibdog. I can't. These are far away. These are hard for me to read. Yo, what's up, y'all? Hi. What kind of ice maker did you go with? What brand of ice maker did I go with? Well, I'll have you know that the Claris ice maker is the only ice maker that can make truly clear ice at the push of a button. That's actually true. Ice maker, I have a guy named Max who delivers me ice cubes because I make a show and that's a business expense and it's necessary for me to make my show be good. So I don't know. If I really wanted countertop super duper clear ice, it's not a gin balloon. It is, I mean, I guess it is. I never knew that term. It's a seltzer balloon at the moment. What am I doing today? I'm just hanging out, answering questions, not releasing a video. Also trying to simultaneously open another browser window over here to make my life slightly easier, so hang on. Yeah, we're gonna put in my email. The thing about live streams is, if you're not laying the track while the train is rolling down, it's not a live stream. Is Max here? All Hail Max. Is Max Miller here? I don't know who All Hail Max means. I'm not Max. Got my 7 in Smirnoff. What are you drinking? A little seltzer at the moment. I've got some weirdo bottle here from Curiata that they sent me. I believe it was from Curiata. This is an awful truth. I get stuff in the mail. I don't know who the hell it's from, but I'm going to say it's from Curiata, the best place to order your alcohol to deliver your home at? Sorry, I have to open a second browser in a different browser because I can't have two instances because this guy's got to be punched all the way up like a bajillion percent. Yeah, and now I got to do the two-factor thing. I'm just going to burp all over your ears, guys. I got to do this two-factor thing, right, because otherwise it won't let me in. You should have just opened the two-factor. Are we doing it? Are we going to the two-factor? Can we do the two-factor? Why can't you just use like a smart thing, like a code? YouTube two-factor sucks. Resend it. Because it's like, it's Google, and they're just like, open the YouTube app. Is that you? It's me. But like, I use Authy for so many other things, and one pass, and it's just like, why we gotta be like that, guys? So now I gotta go to the studio over here. So I have Chrome, which I hate, open to watch the chat, and then I got Safari open so I can see the super chats, because they're two different kind of things. How do I get into my live stream now that it's existing? There we are. Nice. And then how do I details? Gee, now if go to that. Is that going to take me into like the controls? No. You're watching ads. I don't want to watch ads. Customization. No. The fucking hate you. I hate you. Oh wait, you know what I have to do? If I actually, this is so stupid. If I just go live, it'll take me to the controls for the live stream that's already in play. 175 viewers. Hi, ish. How you doing? And now I go viewer activity, and if there's super chats or something now, at least I have a window to see them. Guys, I am finally doing the thing. What's the sweetest cocktail that you like? Oh, that's a good question. I gotta say, you know, I always say that Tiki drinks should be balanced, but a lot of them aren't. A lot of them are pretty sweet. I still like them. What is your favorite shot? I don't really drink shots. Any bar recs in downtown LA? Probably not, because I've spent minutes in downtown LA. Is Polite Provisions? No, I think that's, I think all the places I know of are in San Diego. Sorry. What is the Swedish cocktail you like? There's a Swedish cocktail I like? I don't remember making that statement. What is Martinique rum? Boy, you're going to get a couple different answers on that. So the modern common understanding of what Martinique, what are we hooked up on here? My mic wire was hooked up on something. Hang on there. Have you ever made your own version of Fernum? Why, yes, I have. Just yesterday, actually. Or the day before yesterday. Hold on, I'll even share that with you on the show. So, is there Everclear in front of me? Oh, this? For partying, man. This is for partying. No, for science. Thank you for reminding me. I didn't even know that was there. I should put these in the lab. We'll relocate them in a moment, because we can go over there in a second. Thank you. I totally forgot those existed. By the way, do you guys like this? What do you think? You want to come around with me? We got a tracking camera here. What do you think? Is this fun? I can't see the chat when I look at this, but it's kind of neat. And what you cannot see is the rig that it's on that is fucking insane. I built a camera rig that I wish I could show you, and once upon a time I would be able to just zip into my phone with it. If you look up Ergotron monitor arms, I had a couple lying around. I know, it's an insane thing to have lying around, but I've had many different computer setups. And I took two of them and combined them and then attached them to a junior pin and put that on a junior stand. And now I've got this huge camera arm thing. It's a good phone. It's just a regular man phone. Huge camera arm thing that I can like, and I'll show you what I can do with it. It's on a face tracking gimbal too. So like now while I'm shooting, I can just like pick new shots, do this stuff. There's a wire in there because I can come down here. It's actually pretty easy to go into and over like a straight down shot from this. That's not my favorite thing that this is doing at the moment. If I want to do like food shots and stuff, you know, countertop and stuff, it's pretty cool, right? I think it's pretty cool. I'm very proud of this. And if you want to know about how I built that, why, there's an exclusive video about it on my Patreon. That's right, on my Patreon, you'll get all kinds of exclusive content, like how to build how to build a stupid arm, a Frankenstein disaster arm. And I'm also restoring old telephones on there at some point. And we have a great Discord, and the Discord mods are amazing people who host happy hours and movie nights and all kinds of things. And it's a great community, and it makes the show possible. So I'm going to be plugging that a little bit. And my shirt! We have the customer's always wrong shirt. That's right. This shirt is made by TS Designs in the Carolinas, 100% made in America. I don't know if you know this or not, but the fashion industry, the clothing industry is not the coolest industry for the planet or for humans. And I struggled really hard. There's a lot of places. Okay, so I can talk about this here because I can't do this it doesn't fit into a video. If you've ever seen clothing that was certified fair trade, it's not. There's a self-certification process in the fashion industry. You can get the shirt in the UK, but you will pay for shipping. I'm sorry, Iron Vampire. You'll find out at checkout, you know. But anyway, yeah, like I think it's not GOTS because that's organic, but the fair trade one is bullshit that the industry uses because basically there's like a phone number for an office or whatever, I think in the UK, no offense to the UK, where you call them and they say, are you doing fair trade stuff? And then you're supposed to say something to the effect of, what are the fair trade things? And then they tell you, and then you say, we're doing that. And then they say, okay, we'll certify you fair trade. So you can't guarantee that your clothing is not being made inside of a sweatshop, which is why I was looking for union or something. Anyway, TS Designs is made here in the US, where at the very least you have United States labor practice laws, and they're also really cool guys. The cotton is grown there. It is spun there. It is woven there, cut there. It is garment dyed, because this is not screen printed, my friends, and it's not that digital impregnation garbage either. This is genuine garment dyed, ring spun awesomeness. So pick up one of these shirts at htdshop.com. There's only like 130 left. So it would be dope if we could sell them out on this live stream. I know that kind of thing can happen. I don't think I'm that big of a deal for that to happen, but it'd be cool, so check them out. Am I the only one on this who gets the feeling Greg is now 1 to 2 events from completing his supervillain mad scientist origin story? Oh, yeah, interesting. What is that? What does that mean? And by the way, Mr. Blinky, I looked into the shirts thing. We've done that research. That is old research. So maybe things have shifted now, but I forget, like you look into it and you're like, oh, that's not real. Maybe it's different now. Yeah, I always look for like third-party certification. Water filters, I'm in the market for a water filter right now. If that water filter is not ANSI certified, and I mean certified, but not, here's the thing, okay? You guys want to talk about how they get you? Oh, this is built to ANSI specs. Oh, this is ANSI certified by the 43 spectrum for manufacturing. What does that mean? So, or not 43, but like to the standard of 53, like, you know, but for this particular part of 53. Or they'll say ANSI specs, but not actually independently certified, right? So, yeah, if you find a filter that says it's going to do 5,000 gallons of water and it doesn't cost like $300, that's not a real filter. It's not a real filter. I'm sorry. It just is bullshit. It doesn't do anything. And you're drinking unfiltered water, which is fine. Maybe it's got a granulated carbon pack in there to like make it taste better, but it's not going to actually remove anything. And so we're trying to get a better water filter because the fridge water filter, the water filter in my fridge, you guys want to talk about man stuff, dad stuff? Yeah, you could go RO. I don't really want to deal with that actually because I don't think you can CNC. 2-stage tankless RO, you can get them for $200. I bet you're buying something that's not certified. Sorry. Man, if that's not, I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up when we're not on this live stream. I'm gonna look it up right now. If I see a 2-stage, I don't even know what tankless RO is. I don't think that's even real. I don't think you can do RO without a tank. How does that work? You can't RO in real time. It's got to go somewhere. You got to process it and store it. Tankless reverse. I could be wrong. Osmosis. I can't spell osmosis. Water filter. Oh, okay. So those little doodads, are, I guess they're calling that tankless, like the water drop one. So water drop does not typically get their stuff certified. I just, like, as a company, like, there's a few companies that actually pay for certifications and a few that don't. Water drop is one that doesn't. They've bit me. I've bought their products. This is just an example. Theirs is $429, so ain't no 200 bucks, 200 US dollars anyway. Okay, but that's what they're calling a tankless system. Gotcha. Interesting. Water flow on that must be garbage without a tank. I don't even know how that works. Anyway, but without the M17. It's a trickle, I bet. Yeah, exactly. So what I want to do is we're got a fridge with a water thing in it, and then right across from that we have a like a sink in the island, and the island sink is not filtered. The fridge water is filtered. I always buy like the crazy filter for it, which does 175 gallons. And since my wife makes pasta with that water, which I guess you should, we go through that and like it's so fast. It's driving me insane. So what I want to put is like a monster filter under the sink that's right across from the fridge, and then put the bypass plug in the fridge, and then because the hose to connect the fridge is right now, it's under the basement, so I could just like route it under. It would take me minutes to route that hose back up under the sink and just connect them both to one big ass filter. Okay. Greg, what advice do I have for a 22-year-old? Well, geez whiz, man. So many things. Be prepared to accept the opportunities that come and go with them. Be flexible. Don't be so focused on the guy you wish you could be that you fail to recognize the universe offering you an opportunity to be another guy, you know, another cool guy. This might end the live stream really fast, but just from experience and also from the headlines, do not join the military. I would strongly encourage anybody thinking about doing that to not do that at the moment in particular. My thoughts on the conflict is that wars of choice are wars of choice. And Congress. There we go. Let's have some drinks. She's like real, you know, I honestly, I would probably use lake water for that too. If I could convince my wife to. It's just that, like, because I don't know that, would a lake be full of microplastics? She's very concerned about the microplastics. Deservedly so. Draft dodging? Yeah, they pull up a fucking draft. Jesus. I don't think there's going to be any draft, honestly. But I got, gang, these live streams used to get pretty political. I don't want that to happen today. And I had this thought that it might not be possible to avoid that just because of where we're at. Just might not be. Might just have to go where it goes. All right, so this was something I got in the mail. Matcha liqueur. It's called Yoshi, and it even looks like Yoshi, the dinosaur. Hey, Colton, bass singer. People gave it to me years ago too, and I couldn't hear them either. That's like the thing. That's like when you're a 22-year-old man and you ask a 42-year-old man for advice. Like there's a part of my brain that's just like, I know I can't tell you shit, man. I know I can't tell you shit. No one can tell me shit. Your dad can't tell you shit. Okay, here we go. I don't have my, whoa, that comes out like thick. What? Look at that. Can you see that? Here we go. I don't know if this is even working, but we'll try it. Focus, Canon. Ooh, yeah, there we go. We're focused. Okay. Oh, wow, that's fun. What would you do with that in a drink? Oh, it's much sweeter than you expect it to be, because I always think of, oh man, that is weird, because it is both the bitter and the sweet, like matcha should be. Well, at least matcha, when you add a lot of sugar to it, is. And then you really get a very matcha-y sweet aftertaste. Oh, that's kind of cool. I don't know what, oh, Hoffman was streaming today. I wish we could hang out. I like him. He seems like a cool fella. What's the proof on that? 17. It reminds me a lot of the green tea ice cream that you get at a Japanese restaurant sometimes. Like, that's exactly what it tastes like. That's cool. I kind of like that. I don't really know what to do with it, but that's lovely. Yeah, the Canon can be really good at focusing. Like it loves faces for the most part, and I probably just don't know how to use autofocus as well as I should. But as soon as you like try to be like, here, grab this, it's just like, but your face is behind it. I want the face. Okay, there you go. So, what does proof mean about alcohol? Well, in practice, it means 0.5%. So 200 proof would be 100% alcohol. 100 proof is 50% alcohol. And the reason it's 100 proof to 50% is because roughly once upon a time, alcohol was regarded as being of proof when it was 50% ethanol. Roughly. I mean, like the really old days, you're going to hear a story about like it was proven to be alcohol if you could soak gunpowder in it and set it on fire. That was proven. That's where proof comes from. And then proof switched. It went, at some point, it used to be alcohol by weight, if I'm not mistaken. And then it switched to alcohol by volume. And there's like about a 17% difference, if I'm not mistaken, between the weight of alcohol and the weight of water, the density. I think it's 17, or maybe it's 12.5%. No, I think it's 17. Yeah, because I had to do a bunch of math about that somewhat recently. Not recently, but like a year ago. I was working on an episode for THC extraction and THC cocktails. And I was trying to do a thing where I was proving that, look, if you know where you're starting from, you can do all this math all the way through. I ate some leftover Chinese that is disagreeing with me. You can do all this math all the way through, and you can know 21%? Okay, maybe that's what it is. That's a big difference. I thought it was 17, but whatever. Anyway, that you could do all this math and know how powerful this THC extract or tincture would be. And then I'd be getting into people talking about the differences between tinctures and extracts. And like, man, I wish you guys just like used words that were right. And it turned out that math was really hard to do. It was really hard to do. And I kind of shelved the episode because I was like, this might be dangerous advice. That's true. And see, for instance, if you use your percentages a certain way, you can say that you reduce the price of something by 800%. Damn, it's been a long time. You could also use matcha. You could use the matcha as a sweetener. Well, that's like the thing with a lot of liqueurs. You can think of it as the sweetener. You could think of a liqueur, especially when they're like creams. Like this is super sweet. I don't know what the sugar is in this, but it's heavy with sugar. You can replace the sugar or some of the sugar in a drink with something like that. Not much multi. I'm 17 in. Technical troubles out of the way yet? Hey, man. Hey, now. That is very personal. Fun fact, Edward Thatch would put gunpowder in his rum. Fun fact about Blackbeard is that every fact about Blackbeard is a lie. There's just nothing, not one word is true. It's a very safe bet that, nah. Is Kenku going to work for me today? Is that going to wind up in the show? Can we actually listen to some tunes? Oh, that's funny. This wire is just like in the world. I don't know if we really want some music in here. It kind of gets... Is that in the show? Oh, I think it is. Oh. Yeah, we got some lo-fi beats happening. Nice. Is this chill? Are we liking this? Just so it's not dead silent. Cattergwin, you did catch a live stream, Cattergwin. Oh, well, I'm not gone. Oh, well, I actually kind of have not released episodes as regularly as I once did. I want to taste this Privateer True American rum. This is very interesting because this is Massachusetts rum, and there's like a whole tradition of Massachusetts rum, and I don't have like a write-up on this, but I do wonder if like they're kind of like trying to revive that New England style of rum. Is Smith & Cross still your favorite rum? Probably not, honestly. Probably not. I like a lot of rums. I like rums. Depends on what kind of rum. I mean, like, it depends on what you're doing with the rum, but, you know, I do trend towards Demerara's. I'm just looking for a glass. Oh, wait, you know what would be cool? We can do that. Watch this. Hold on. Come on, guys, let's go buy. Let's find a glass at the wall of glassware. I got to reorganize this. This is a big mess. Yeah, that's fine. Glass. What am I tripping over? Oh, yeah, sure. Maybe we want some ice. Check this out. I don't know if you can see in here or not, but this is my, yeah. My wife is always like, you got the best freezer in the house. So this is where she freezes the bagels and the smoothies and my steel cut oatmeal. I can't get, there's a wire in the shot, I'm sorry. I can't get to the ice cubes that I use to make the show anymore. She's, this damn it, I can't. It's so full. I'd have to throw so much. Oh, forget it. We're just drinking neat. That's, there's nothing we can do about it. All right, whatever. Oh, this glass is dirty. Probably a whiskey glass. I got so many of those suckers. I break them, though. I will be needing more glassware at some point. I'm going to run out of the glasses that I got for free. Oh, yeah, there we go. Now, that one's also kind of dusty. Well, we just think you can follow me all the way. Come on over here to the sink, internet. Come on. We got a sink now in the How to Drink bar. It's nice to have this camera set up for this because I never actually have to go off camera as long as I stay in the room now. It's not a great shot, but, you know, I can stay on. All right, let's do a little tiny snort of this privateer, American, whatever. Blub, 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 blub. There we go. Whew! The pops on every bottle you've been opening have been pink. Can you get Amarula in America? Probably not. I've never heard of anything like that. I mean, you could probably get it somewhere, but maybe not. That is tobacco-y rum. I kind of like that. This is definitely meant to be a sipping rum. Boy, though, I bet there's a lot of... It tastes... I mean, that's nice. There's a lot of fining in that. Never sweetened. Okay. Okay, wow. Well, then I don't even know. There's a lot of... let me see. I went down square. Hey! How would I describe that? There's a very pleasant note that reminds me of like root beer or toothpaste. I know that's crazy. It's got to be wintergreen-ish, wintergreen note. Not that it's wintergreen. What else would I say about that? I don't even know what to say about that. All right, so I was wrong. I guess Amarula is all over the dang place. Look at that. I just never heard of it. I don't get out much. I kind of live right in here. Well, as we've established, I have no access to ice. I have no ice! I'm looking forward to us being in Canada. I'm looking forward to us in Canada being able to get American booze again someday, some great day. Well, Kevin, yeah. Is the John McClane a Christmas cocktail? Sure. If you drink it at Christmas, why not? What is the proof on this? It is 56% and a half alcohols. So that's 112s, 113 alcohol proof, 113. Are you still able to find chartreuse? I haven't had to. I have several bottles, believe it or not, and I don't go through it very fast. Used to be a bourbon guy, then I started trying more rums. I have to say I'm definitely a rum guy now. Yeah, that could be. Welcome Cold Water with a Q. That's funny. I got one in the middle of last year and I didn't know how hard it was to find. Yeah, it happens. I used to be able to like just go to my local liquor store when I lived in the city and buy Blanton's. It was crazy. Can't do that anymore. I don't know that I would either. I don't know. I used to be a bourbon guy. I used to like a bourbon. I don't think I'm a bourbon man anymore. It tends to just give me a migraine, actually. Have you tried Swedish Punch? Probably. I think so. How many Discord members are there? Members of Discord. Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know how to answer that. Irby, do you know how many Discord members there are? Do you know? I'm looking at my phone. Over 3,000? Okay, there you go. There you go. Well, I'm sure there are a few. Lobo Kendo, you are one. That's great. Thank you. I don't recognize your Lobo Kendo from the Discord, but I know Irby's is from the Discord because he has the decency to use the same name in both places. Mighty decent of you. Have you tried Chinar? I have. I probably have a bottle somewhere. Here's the thing. I screwed up my back real bad because we kept getting snow, so much snow, and I had to shovel the driveway so many times, and so much unbelievable snow, man. I've never seen this much snow in New Jersey in my life, and I'm still recovering. And I really tweaked something there in my lower spine around me old coccyx, and I finally got the sciatica is tempering, but I still got a little pain in my back, so I don't want to get down and crawl around looking for bottles at the moment. Sorry. I can show you guys something I'm maybe working on. Hold on. This is a project, and I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna come over here. Come on, you can just try to keep up. I'm over. Ah, you lost me, you rat. You know what? You know what? We're just going to skip that anyway. We'll skip that. But what I will do is I will grab these since I happen to be over here. Yeah. I'm coming back around. Hi, we're back. Hi. I'm hoping you're having an awesome day. Thank you. I hope you're having an awesome day too. I'll tell you what, man. It's been a rough year. It's been a rough year. There was more snow during the blizzard of '96. Was there? Maybe at once, but I've never had snow stay on the ground this long, which is crazy. I've never had snow stay on the ground last long. I was the one at Disney in Discord asking you about going on Critical Role when Brennan was named DM for Critical Role 4. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not. No one's asked. It doesn't work like that, guys. I think that people underestimate what big boys that whole crew is and what little boy Greg is. I feel like you would get close to an LIT with gin. Okay. Oh, I'm not part of whatever conversation was happening there. So, yeah, I like the crew bottles. I like the way they look. I will have to say, I had one that started leaking at the seam, and I do hate their corks. I replace them with these incredibly cheap silicone corks you can get on Amazon. They're so cheap. I despise their corks. Well, anyway, these are 2 Fernums I made. And these are 2 Fernums I also made, but they're not my recipe. And I just shot this whole episode about Fernum, about the history of it, where it comes from, what is it supposed to taste like, and it's probably sort of surprising conclusions, honestly, because it's not as mysterious as I thought it would have been. John D. Taylor's is probably pretty close to correct, or actually probably, that is probably what it is. And it turns out that basically the Fernum has divided itself into 2 camps. There is like the Fernum you should use in old Tiki drinks, which is John D. Taylor's and Fernum like it. And then there is what they now call, I guess, modern Tiki Fernum, which is super spiced and has a lot of like all kinds of stuff going on. That is down to, I think, people just thinking that it should be more spicy and that like there must be something wrong with John D. Taylor because no one's mixologist it yet. But the reality is, like, that's what you're probably supposed to use, actually. Although I do love a modern Tiki Fernum. In fact, this is Tropical Standard, which is a mighty modern style Fernum, and it's truly delicious. I don't have the right glassware for it, however. Is this camera dead? Nah, it's just like the little monitor turned off. What are we doing here? Why don't we... Oh, I see the problem. Yeah. There you go. That's a little less awful. Glassware is a problem in Gregland. Here we go. Take some glassware. Get some seltzer off the old keg. Yeah. Whap. Alrighty. I'm coming back around again. Coming back around again. Coming back around again. Hi, guys. Hi, guys. So this is Tropical Standard. Garrett Richards, I think, and other fella kind of invented this. And it is tasty as hell. I'm not going to lie. But I also think it's probably not what you should use in a classic beachcomber tiki drink. A lot of clove in that one. I think that's Tropical Standard. Is that mine? Yeah, that's Tropical Standard. I need to label these. Someone was asking about how strong is Everclear. It depends where you live, because where you live, it determines how strong of it can be, basically. Where I live, it can be 95%, and that's what I use. I know from watching Darcy O'Neill that like he has difficulty getting that up where he's at in Ontario, and so he does other things. It's good to have the ability to have 95%, but I am somewhat likely to take this and water it down for certain purposes anyway. So, there you go, Mr. Blinky. Yeah, it's just, I mean, this is as close to pure ethanol as you can get. If you're making a Fernum vid, you should do an allspice dram vid too. Yeah, that's a good question. I didn't think about that. Fernum is, I mean, some of the modern Fernums are essentially allspice drams. And I should have said that. I didn't even think of it. This is Fernum number 9, which is Beach Bum Berry's take on Fernum. Not Beach Bum Berry. I had that wrong, actually. It's some other fella as well, Paul Clark. And I feel like this is much closer to classic Fernum, although I also suspect that mine might have come out a little bit. Very limey there. Have you ever heard a story about your filming set, who built and designed it, and what the cute story is behind the decorations? I don't know. I mean, I built and designed it. I designed it in SketchUp to fit the old garage. It's 3 independent, very heavy wood panels on stands. This is maple. Maybe these are oak and this is maple. I forget which is which. It's not very well done. The bar tops I got from a lumber mill after much arguing. They were a big slab of walnut that I cut up. The knickknacks are my knickknacks. It's my grandmother's old globe that she marked up where she lived. Some books I like. That's my Rolleiflex that I used to shoot on. Trophies from the show. This is another thing of my grandmother's. Some of these things are actually pretty recent acquisitions. I got this on Facebook Marketplace because it looked cool. This is a 1939 GE radio that I restored. It works. I love it. It's really cool. Pulls in shortwave and stuff, which is a whole... That's an obsession. Trying to tune up an antenna to listen to prog, which I've done. It's pretty cool. A member of our incredible Discord sent me this as a gift. This is an Arnold number 15 electric drink mixer. And I got it working and safe to work, although it does produce some smells. One of the very, very earliest drink mixers. I will be using it on the show as my cocktail mixer for like spindle drinks, tiki drinks and stuff like that, because it's beautiful. I love it. Need to clean some stuff off of it still, but there's a video about making this thing work as well on my Patreon. Yeah, I forget the name of the person who sent this off to me, in fairness, but I was looking for one. They were expensive. He had this one that didn't work. I disassembled it, rebuilt it, found the bearings for it, the brushes, everything. And now it does its thing, and it barely throws any sparks. The thing that Arnold invented is they had the switch where if I were to plug this in right now, it would just be running. This was their contribution to drink mixers. That's the switch to turn it on. So you put it in, and away it goes. They got bought out by Hamilton Beach, who wanted that switch. This will look an awful lot like some of the very earliest Hamilton Beach models that came after this, what I think is really cool is if you look up the Arnold number 15 online, it's going to have this brass plate on the front, and every single one I see says patented, I think 1921 or 1914, one of those two. I don't know why those are the two numbers that jump out of my head. Mine says patent applied for, which means it's a little older than that. It's more like the earliest, I think. This is just a wearing like 50s or 60s blender deluxe. I wanted it because I need a blender on the show, and it's beautiful. I have like modern ones. I just realized I don't know. Okay, off is there. Of course, I have Vitamix and stuff like that, and I've got a Waring Pro spindle mixer and stuff, but they're huge. They don't fit under a shelf here, all of them, and they're very unattractive in my opinion. So, you know, we try to be a little twee, a little nice here. Oh, yeah, is that light working? You know, we got to have a practical light going. Yeah, those are the things that we got here in the set. There you go. In your opinion, is it worth it to visit a tourist trap tiki bar? It depends. Golden Monkey, and, you know, I don't know. You should ask around about that. A Labyrinth. Have I been tempted to put some tiki decor on the set? Yeah, oh, sorry. Back to the question about tiki tourist trap bar. The world of Tikidom will tell you if that place is worth going to or not. Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. But like, there's tiki heads out there you can look up right now, reviews on that place, and it'd be easy for you to determine for yourself if like you should stop in or not. Good point about nothing tiki on the set. I don't know. Is my skull here a little tiki? I used to have a hula girl. Well, actually, so here's the thing I want to do. I'm happy to give these guys a shout out. They owe me. I owe them an email. I think it's Betty's Lost Weekend is a really cool tiki bar, not super far from me, that a couple built in their shed or in their garage. I want to go visit it. We're going to do a little interview thing, and I think they do tiki bar consulting. I want to get there. Thank you, Chewy. I'll look at that in a second. I want to get them to kind of like give me some pointers, and then I want to do sort of a series on building a room in my house into a tiki bar. Because I really want my own tiki bar. And this is not a bar. Like, it looks like a bar, but like my friends and I do not hang out in here when they're over to make drinks. Like, there's cameras and equipment everywhere. Like, outside of this world, it is not a fun place to be in. And yet it is also where all my booze and equipment tools are. So like, I constantly have to come in here and grab things and go back to the kitchen. My early set had a tiki stuff. Well, I mean, like, these are kind of tiki-ish, right? Like, they feel tiki. The hula girl's over there. She fell 300 times and like broke into so many pieces. I don't know what else we had that was tiki-ish. We used to have like some fake orchids and stuff. Where's the best spot for tiki cocktails that I've ever visited? 3 Dots and a Dash, but I don't have, like, I can't claim to have been to a bajillion tiki bars or anything like that. So it's also like, I know they're like top 3. It's like tough to beat, so. Okay, somebody was asking, oh, a super chat, right. Greg, are you still writing that book? If I'm being a pest, I love your storytelling abilities. They're masterful, and I will fight anyone who says otherwise. Oh, that's funny that for some reason this chat eats that chat a little bit. Oh, wait. What book? My idea for a novel that I had that I'm not talking about? I do have an idea for a novel. I have a bunch of notes. I did a lot of historical research. I'd like to write it. I'd like to be a great novelist. I'd like to do that. I just got a lot of other stuff kind of on my plate with the show. We were launching the store, HTD Shop, and we have a very limited number of these the customer is always wrong shirts that I was hyping up a little bit before on the show. I don't want to go way too deep into it, but I'm very proud of these shirts and how they were made, and I realized I was just hitting my mic. We have a great partner, 100% made in America. Check them out on the shop. There's all kinds of description there, and we only have, I think, 130 left, so they're going to be gone, and I think we're going to let them be gone at least for the foreseeable future. I don't think that we're going to do another run yet for a while. We're going to try to do some other designs. Doing that, you know, and really, honestly, just trying to save the show. This is not me. We're good. We're okay. Things have turned around a little bit, but not on YouTube. But like, this is not me like saying, you know, a crying poorhouse or anything like that. But I will say, like, there was a couple months there, I mean, like a year there, where shit was so bad Not that it's bad. Obviously, I don't have a real job. I have a YouTube job, but you know what I mean? That like, okay, we're gonna have to quit. We're gonna have to pack this up and like maybe even sell my house and like really rethink some things here. And thankfully, I was able to, the HTD app, I think really helped me drive more people to Patreon and actually like reward people who were really just amazing people who'd been supporting the show for years, like, and I just was not really doing enough on Patreon. So really Patreon is the main driver of the show at the moment. YouTube is not paying the bills. The revenue just absolutely imploded. And I don't know why. I mean, people are going to blame the algorithm. Maybe that's a factor. I don't know. Like, I don't think I'm being specifically hammered like I've been targeted. Like, I get invited to like Google events as like guest speakers and stuff. There's like, there's not a lot that they can do. They're just like, yeah, sorry. Yeah, do better. No, so that thing I was about my dad, yeah. That was for an idea for a cocktail book that I was going to write. Nah, I kind of want to write a novel. I don't really want to do a cocktail book. Yeah, it's less views is really it, Adam. Like, there's just fewer people watching. But it's kind of cool that Patreon is really the driver now. What that means is that like I can do a lot more of the stuff I really want to do because I'm not like dependent on like swinging for the fences every single week and trying to make with the clicks. Obviously, I can't quit YouTube, and I don't intend to because like YouTube is how people find the show. And like, I love being on YouTube. I'm on YouTube right now. And I wouldn't say that YouTube is making $0. It just went from being, 80% of the income to like 20. YouTube ad interruptions. I know, it's like kind of a hostile place for a lot of people. I mean, you got to get YouTube Pro, I guess. Plus, Pro, awesome, whatever. So that's a factor. And like shorts are changing the marketplace so much. And then also like there's a little bit of pandemic winnowing, people aren't like, honestly, like so much like the cocktail thing, man. This is a millennial thing, right? We came of age with Mad Men and amidst this like cocktail revival in New York, and we all wanted to be really sleek, cool guys, hipsters. And we would go to these bars and stuff like that. And cocktails was a real cool thing. But now we like have kids who are, honestly getting old, and a lot of us are, I don't know, like the extended adolescence of millennials has come to an end, right? It's over. There's no water cooler shows. There's no, like we grew up. And so I think a big part of that is that like this feels very like a millennial show for millennials. I'm really glad if you're not a millennial and you're in here. Just missed Gen X. Yeah, Gen Y. Gen Y. Does YouTube sell algo boosters? I don't know what the hell that is. And then, that's right, Bunny. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy cocktails. And certainly, yeah, they call me a Zennial. When I was a kid, they told us we were Gen Y, but that's because they hadn't figured out what to call us yet. We were just the next guys after Gen X. Then I heard at one point Zennial. Sometimes people say Oregon Trail generation. And then, of course, like by the big numbers, people get annoyed when you try to differentiate because like, you're millennials. But I was like my wife. Like we talk about this stuff all the time. Like we grew up we went to the same schools. We're from the same town. We are from the same hometown. We're just Jack and Diane, two American kids doing the best they can. But I'm 2 years older than her, and also a few dollars poorer than her when I grew up. And it's when we talk about our childhood, it's like we grew up 30 years apart. It's insane. She's like, I was talking about like, well, you remember computer class? Like I was complaining that my daughter, who is 9, they don't know how to use a computer. The school never taught them how to use a computer. So like when I'm trying to help her with her laptop, that whatever, and I'm like, you look at this. You have no RAM. You can't put that animated desktop on. You don't have RAM for that. I gave you an 8 gigabyte laptop I stopped using. What's RAM? It's like they only teach them how to click. They don't know anything about how things work, right? And that's fine, except that like I was like blown away because I was like, they use them all the time in school. So what the hell do they do with them, right? And my wife was like, I was talking about like computer class. She was like, what the hell are you talking about? I was like, computer class. When we had to go to the room that had the one computer in the school in it, and that teacher said, now this is click and drag. How to click and drag. This is double click. Here is, show me you know how to, everybody take a turn with double click. Like, that's a real thing that we had to do in 4th grade, I think. She didn't have to do that because they had computers in every single class in the same school only 2 years later. So when I was in that school, there were like the computers were in the G&T class. Us Gen Pop kids didn't get access to those. But like, yeah, I was just kind of blown away by that. Like, you know, talk about like, oh, everybody she knew had cell phones in high school. Nobody had cell phones when I was in high school, but we went to the same high school. Like, we crossed over a little bit, but by the time she was a junior or senior, I was in basic training. But she was like, everybody had cell phones. I was like, what? That's insane. Everybody had cell phones. I was a weirdo because I had a pager, and it's funny, a friend of ours, we commiserated about the fact that, like, oh, we have divorced parents. You got a pager so that dad didn't have to talk to mom. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, I'll go call you, dad. Yeah, I had a pager so my dad could get in touch with me. And I didn't have a pager. I had a beeper. A pager was alphanumeric. You could like give somebody a message. I think you had to talk to somebody and they would type it into it. I just saw a phone number. I knew I had to call back. Mocktails are THC. Yeah, I have some THC. Hold on. We could talk about that. I should have hit the button so that you could come with me. All right, let me show you guys some stuff here. Okay, it's perfectly legal where I live, by the way. So if any of you are thinking like, I'm an internet bad boy, I'm gonna get this guy. So I did this whole thing where I was like, let's do the math and make an extract of the THC and know what we're gonna end up with. Because I can go to my local dispensary and purchase something that has been scientifically calculated to have, you know, X amount per ounce, right? So like, or percent of THC. And so decarb it in sous vide, and then do an extract on that over 24 hours or more in ethanol, yada, yada, yada. You should be able to derive mathematically how powerful that is within a margin of error. And so I couldn't, though. All my math was wrong. And I took my extracts to a lab, and what we found out was that there's too many variables. This I kept calculating to be at like, my math said this should be like 22%, or 22 milligrams per, 22 milligrams per milliliter, which is a ton of, right? Yeah, yes. I kept calculating this as being 22 or so milligrams per milliliter, and then I found out my math was wrong, and then I had this little home testing device that I was like, well, let's see if it's okay on that, and that was clicking in at like 10 or 11. And I was like, that is insanely dangerous, because if I have a whole edible that's 10 milligrams, I am gonna have some real teleportational effects on me because I'm a big lightweight. And if I saw this was 10 milligrams because my little testing thing said it was, but it was 16, I'm not gonna have a very nice time. And then I found out that my math was actually pretty close. I had to calculate, this is where we were talking about this before, about the weight of ethanol. I made a mistake. I did weight for flour. I did volume for ethanol. Can't do that. You gotta stick to one or the other. Do everything by weight because the difference in density. So when I calculated for that and calculated for the 12.5% loss in decarbing, I got much closer on the math, but it was still not close enough that I was comfortable with it. This is just diluted RSO. This is also that. And then this was because, okay, so I read like a study that was like, if it makes you paranoid, and I know somebody whom it does sometimes, there was a thing that was like, if there's a 2-to-1 ratio of D-limonene, which is one of the terpenes that is in many things, one of which is THC, this study in Denmark showed that it would result in markedly less 22 milligrams per milliliter is 2%. Is that right? Okay. I don't know if that's right, though. Anyway, but it would reduce the THC, tetrahydrocannabinol. It's weed, man. It's weed. It's tetrahydrocannabinol or something like that. And then there's THCA, which is why you have to decarb it. You have to remove that one carbon atom to turn it from an acid into something else. So am I sure what's not grams? 16.38. Well, you can't have 16.38 grams per milliliter. Nonetheless, I'm not touching this anymore. Yeah, anyway, this was a special blend that I made that I injected extra D-limonene into to target a 2-to-1 ratio of D-limonene to THC. And it does make you not paranoid, but it does also make you, it seems to increase your sleepiness, which is the alternative there. And I did all this work on making my own THC cocktails, and then we bought some seltzers at the store, and those were fine. Tetrahydro weed. I do sometimes. I haven't gone live in a while. I'm going live today because I haven't had an episode out in forever. Oh yeah, why haven't I had an episode out in forever? It's been a rough year. It's been a hell of a rough year. Been really not a great year. I've had a couple of extremely painful medical situations, not life-threatening, very personal. I'm not going to talk about it any more than that. That like just straight up kept me in bed for a couple of weeks. Explosion at a cannabis extraction place near you. Wow. What was I going to say is now my back is thrown out. We've had the flu. If you have kids in the winter, you know how that is. There's been like constant snow. It's just been rough. A couple of episodes I had have turned out to be much more difficult to make than I thought they were. Working right now in the middle of, and I finally cracked the science of it, trying to make Nuka quartz. Finally got that actually working. But rather than rush to actually film the episode, I want to write it carefully because I think that could be kind of a banger. I watched another YouTube channel that has talked about YouTube backhand. They said from their experience, no one watches education-based content. They want short-form clickbait videos. I don't know if I agree with that. Actually, I kind of disagree with that, but I think that maybe it's a difference in terms. I'm going to put these back into my cabinet over here in the lab. You didn't follow me. You were supposed to follow me. Why didn't you follow me, bastard? I think people actually do like educational content. It just has to be very interesting. Like, I don't think anybody, you know, like when you say educational content, what do you mean though? Like, that's what I'm getting at, I guess. Like, do you mean like, here is math? Like Veritasium puts out videos all the time that like I can't not click on. They're fascinating. He did something about like, I forget what piece of like, what equation, power law. I didn't know anything about power law. It blew my mind. People want to see and people will see it are two different things. Yeah, that's like the thing, right? Like people say they want a thing, but that's not what they want. You have to know what people want that they don't know that they want. Like, there's this thing that people talk about with like the Ford Lightning, the electric Ford Lightning. Everybody I know who bought one thinks it's the greatest vehicle they've ever bought. I don't know anybody who's unhappy about that vehicle, but it apparently was a bomb, and they took it off the market, right? And you know, and it doesn't make any sense because for everything that a person should do with a truck, this is perfect. Like 89, 90 something, over 90% of people like never tow anything in their truck. And then like a few tow a couple times a year. Very few people tow all the time, right? Very few people go on long road trips. Very few people, like it's does the job. But it's not, but the fact right there that like, you know, 90 some odd % of people never tow anything with their truck and don't actually use it for truck shit. They use it as like a minivan. Tells you that you don't buy a truck because the vehicle functions as a truck. The fact that the Ford Lightning can do all of the things that a truck can do that a person is likely to do does not matter. You buy a truck as a cultural signifier, right? Like that's just reality. Some people obviously buy trucks because they need trucks. Like I see dudes towing boats for a living around here. Like that guy needs a truck. Yep. Some guys, you know, like you hauling around tools. But you don't buy a truck because it does truck things. You buy a truck because of a cultural signifier, and the fact that the electric truck does the truck things does not do that for you, because that's not the cultural signifier, right? But you probably don't know that. That's the thing. If someone asks you, what do you look for in a truck? You're not going to say the truth. You're going to say, I need to tow. I need it to carry things. I need to carry my stuff around. I got to do some work. I got to go be able to pick up plywood and stuff like that when I'm doing weekend stuff. And like all of those things, you know, those are the things you're going to say. So market research is going to say, okay, we got it. We got the electric vehicle for you. And then you sell that person the electric vehicle. They're like, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. It's not what I want. You know, it's like sneakerheads. It's like sneakerheads. So, yeah. So you have to make content that people don't know that they want, which is hard. Because if they know they want it, they're going to go and seek it out before you make it. They already know that answer. It was already a thing that they were curious about. You have to make stuff that people don't know they ought to be curious about. And you can make very educational content that way, but that is the hardest job in the world. That is miracle stuff. I don't know how to do it all the time. I don't hardly ever know how to do it. And if you're trying to do it every single damn week, yeah, exactly. Squirrel fan. In fact, I think it might have been Hank Green's video that I'm stealing from there a little bit, but it made me kind of click on that. I was like, oh, right, of course. It's all what they want, not what they say they want. Yeah, it's really hard to know that, right? Like, 'cause if I get trapped into reading the comments and doing what people in the comments tell me they want, the videos suck. If you know what you want on YouTube, you've already gotten it. You found it, right? Like somebody's already making that content somewhere, and you can just go find it and seek it out. In order to actually click, you got to make something that people don't know they want, which is why, like, you know, I'm working on this episode where I'm going to make Nuka Quartz, which is by far the hardest Nuka Cola variant to make. Thank you for enjoying the Texas Guy in an episode. I really liked that one a lot too. It was a lot of work. That episode was an experiment in trying to really maximize for retention. My retention numbers are good. They're always over 40%, sometimes over 50%. That's crazy from what I've been told. So like, I was looking at like, why is my channel's performing so bad? Why is it not doing what it's supposed to do? And I was like, okay, let's optimize for retention. If we have higher retention, maybe some kind of magic trick happens on YouTube and they push it towards more people. But that didn't matter. It was a lot of work to make that video, and it helped the retention a tiny amount, but the video didn't really do numbers. The problem is my CTR is low. Click-through rate is low. People don't want to watch my show. They're choosing something else. Okay. But yeah, so like we've pivoted to Patreon, and if you love the show and want me to be able to continue to make it, and you want a closer relationship to the show, then Patreon is where it's at. And increasingly, I'm kind of leaning towards this idea of doing more content on Patreon and less on YouTube. Like keep YouTube for stuff that has mass appeal. The Nuka Quartz, the distilled coffee, the super clear ice, things that actually have a shot to kind of do some numbers, and then do actual like cocktail nerd stuff and the stuff that I really want to do over on Patreon more so. I'm thinking about that. And then there's I was looking at, like, Meredith and I were talking about this the other day. I don't really surf around on Patreon, so I don't know what other people are doing over there. So I looked at a few people, other YouTuber creators and stuff, and it was like Jenny Nichols is somebody if anybody's in communication with her, tell her I'm a big fan. Just like in general, think she's cool. She did that video, incredible video on the downfall of the Star Cruiser at Disney. And I'm just like, as a creator, blown away. She put out like a 3-hour documentary that got 15 million views on YouTube, but like does not post other YouTube videos. Her entire content is happening on Patreon. And I think that the model there is that like she'll put out a YouTube video once every year or two is what it feels like. And then there was like a couple of other creators, like Nile Red puts out almost nothing on YouTube. I mean, he puts out like 3 videos a year, and he puts out some other sillier stuff on Nile Blue. But I think he's doing a lot on Patreon on a semi-regular basis, right? So I might shift a little bit in that direction, just because like hitting YouTube videos every week is not, it's not a very rewarding experience, to be honest. It's a tremendous amount of work. It's a lot of stress. And it forces me to make an episode whether or not I've got a YouTubeable idea, right? Like if I'm doing 4 YouTube episodes a month, that means every week I've got to have an episode on YouTube, whether or not it's a YouTube episode. And YouTube episodes are like a specific breed of content. Otherwise, like you're kind of just spinning your wheels and doing more work for less money. And I don't want to make it crass, but like this is not a hobby. This is a full-time job for me, for Meredith, for our editor, for like my wife, for all of us. And I don't think, nah. So like that's a misreading of the situation, Ani. I'm assuming I'm pronouncing it right, unless it's Ani. And I want to address this real quickly. A lot of people are leaving YouTube because it's changed so much and not for the better, making money off creators whom they pay little to nothing. YouTube doesn't pay me anything. That's not how it works. We do not get paid by YouTube. We have a contractual obligation as partner creators that stipulates a very clearly outlined revenue sharing model. YouTube and I take the money that comes in from the advertisements and we split it pretty fairly. I can't complain about that at all. And anybody who does is either lying to you about where their money comes from, or they're honestly not aware enough. Like they just click OK and they don't read the thing that YouTube sends them to sign. They shouldn't do that. This is their business. I get a little annoyed about this. So no, YouTube is very fair to me. What has shifted is that the advertising dollars and eyeballs have gone to other things. Shorts, for purely market-driven reasons, are not valuable to individual creators from an ad revenue standpoint. Shorts are very good for advertisers because a lot of people watch shorts and they fall into a catatonic short scrolling state. I use brick. I brick my phone so that I cannot get onto shorts at all. Smaller creators don't get paid at all. Why should they? This is not, I'm not Mr. Free Market Capitalism, but YouTube is not a charity. It's a shared revenue model. You know, if you don't make money for them, where's the money going to come from? We split it. Anyway, the problem with shorts is that the money for the ad revenue is in aggregate. It's in, oh, somebody started scrolling shorts and they fell into 3 hours of scrolling shorts and lost their whole day. And in that time, they saw X number of ads. The ads on shorts are not in your videos. They are in an aggregate of watch session split up across all of those videos. So CPM, costa per mille, which is the price per 1,000 impressions on YouTube, which is every 1,000 pair of eyeballs that are offered an opportunity to see an ad, what is that worth? On long form videos, it is in dollars, you know, $5 for 1,000, depends on the content, depends on the time of year, depends on your segment of the market, like whether or not the people who watch your show tend to be, I don't want to get into that because audience shaping is a whole other thing, but it's in dollars. And when you look at it, it is a number that is basically an averaging of all of the different valued eyeballs that watch your show. Every viewer has a different value based on how much money they make, what languages they speak, where do they live. Is this like a finance bro? Because those guys spend a lot of money. So like when you pull all those people together, that represents your whole audience, and that is like what you're making in CPM. If you do a tech bro channel, from what I have been told, you can have a CPM that is like $60 per thousand views, which is fucking crazy, because that's crazy. But it's because a big chunk of your audience are these high value eyeballs that spend their money on garbage and think they're going to be the next Elon Musk and are ready to spend. And like, if you tell them that, like, if you wear this red light cap, it's going to raise your IQ by 14 points. And if you take this ice cold plunge, you're going to be the next CEO of dingleberry.com. So that's a high CPM. My CPM is like 7 usually, 6. We can get it up to 7 at the end of Q4 and stuff like that. Well, no, that's not true. It used to hit like 11 at the end of Q4. Anyway, so whatever. It floats. It fluctuates. It's market driven. The CPM on shorts is pennies. Fucking pennies. It is literally fractions of pennies sometimes. So because your short is not, it can't be said to be the thing that caused that ad impression to occur. It is the platform that is causing the ad impression to appear. It is the aggregation of all of these shorts together, creating a synergistic, catatonic, hypnotic, algorithmic brain rot, right? So, and that's where the eyeballs are. And so that has diminished the value and audience on longer form content. That doesn't mean that there's nobody watching long form content. Like, TV still makes tons of money in advertising, and who the fuck watches TV? And it's not YouTube's fault. There's a new product, and that's what people want, man. So it's really like, I don't know. There's nothing to be mad about. There's no conspiracy. It's just like the changing marketplace, and whether or not you can adapt to it or not. There you go. Starting to sound like the whole system promotes snake oil sellers. Snake oil is the best product. It is dirt cheap, and you can say it does anything. It's so good. I wish I could sell some snake oil. Yeah, so what is this for? This is for doing extracts and science and stuff. This is just 95% ethanol. I use it for cleaning laboratory equipment. I use it for making extractions. I use it for diluting things. It's all that stuff. It's not snake, and it's not oil. No, you don't drink it or mix cocktails with it. In fact, years ago in New Jersey, legally they can only sell this to you if they don't think you're going to drink it. I don't think it's really enforceable, but but everything is an advertise at Machu Picchu, and it always has been. And that is, I'm sorry you're growing up. It always has been. It's always been an advertisement. There's never been a time when it wasn't an advertisement. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. Buy my shirt at htdshop.com. It does sound unenforceable, yeah. That doesn't mean it's not on the book somewhere. Hey! I should invent a snake oil drink. That's a funny idea. Yes, there are other Fallout videos coming. In fact, I got a fridge full of Nuka quartz experiments, and I'm like 80 hours of footage into shooting that. So I need to sit down and write the script and shoot it soon. Do the ads run just like in the middle of the stream? Yep. I got no control over that. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Just came on the stream. What is this unholy setup with 3 bottles of Everclear? Okay, come on. Let's just take them away, because obviously this is a problem. They don't belong here. Somebody pointed out that they were sitting here. They belong over here in the lab. Welcome to the HTD lab. Somebody saw them on the shelf behind me, and I said, oh my God, I forgot those are there. Let's put them where I won't forget them again, so that I can move them into the lab where they belong. This is HTD lab, and in my current configuration, I cannot see chat, but I've been doing a lot more content over here. This is where I do lab stuff. in the lab. Lab stuff. I got a bunch of liquid nitrogen down here, but now we don't need to play with that. I want to go back to the HDD bar. It's easy. The lab is not as set up for chat. Like, it's not as great a place for me to hang out and chat. I would love to have a drink in my hand, but my wife made it so that I cannot get to my goddamned ice, which sucks. Do you make bitters? Not yet. Nee. But it's on the plan. It's on the plan. You should start selling your shop pour to ads. Like, this is the 20 mil beef eater pour. Start selling. I don't know what that means. Is there a value to homemade ice stamps or great manufacturing? Is there a value to homemade ice stamps or a great manufacturing sponsor? I apologize. I can't quite parse that question. She's icing you out. Can you go on to more depth, Brick? I've been looking for a way. Oh, Brick. That's funny. I just look up Brick phone. It's cool. It's an app that you lock up your phone with, and then there's a physical device. It's just an NFC chip. And I know it's, it's a totem, but it works. And you touch your phone to it, and it's locked, and then you leave that thing somewhere else. And you can't get around it. And you have to unlock it manually. You get like some emergency unlocks, but. Do I do posts? I don't know. On the off chance you see this live, your videos got me into making cocktails at home and trying different things when going out. That's awesome. Thank you. Oh, and I'm glad you're in the Discord, Edward. I'm glad I'll see you in there. Hey, Greg, quick. Do I drink another glass of Primitivo or do I get a dark ale? What is Primitivo? Is that like a wine? I wouldn't go from wine to ale. Tried your Disco Elysium drink and bottles of Friends Blaze and a favorite. Oh, that's awesome. Now it's a part-time job sending. I have a part-time job sending centrists the latest horrible news. That's a weird thing to say. No, what's funny about Brick? First off, I reached out to Brick to see if they would let me be a wanted to be a sponsor. They didn't get back to me, bastards. But what's funny about Brick is that they advertise, of course, on Instagram. So, yeah, Primitivo is Zinfandel. Remember when bricking your phone is a very bad thing? Yes, I do too. That's really funny. They might have gotten the name from that, actually, probably. How are we doing here? How many people are watching? Viewers? We got, what, 316? Is that right? 316 people hanging out? Yeah, that's a good, comfortable number. Do you only sponsor stuff you use? Great question. Great question. No. But I do only sponsor stuff that I would use. So I have some rules. The product has to be, like, good. It has to be not horrible for the planet, honestly, as much as any product could be. It has to be, like, a thing that is somewhat durable. It has to be a thing that, hey, if I needed that in my life, that's what I would use. But there's not a lot of things I need in my life. And they have to not make me say things that aren't true. Those are all the rules. And if those are true, then I'm happy to introduce people to a product that might be good for them. But I say no to so many things. We get so many offers for like hangover cures. It seems like every year a few come out and then go out of business. And I won't work with them because they're all full of shit. I get... you always get the stupid VPN services, and it's like, ugh, God, anyway. I disagree that everything has always been an ad. Look at sports, like hockey, every inch. Like, Machu Picchu, do you mean like sports, like, just like two friends playing sports? You're right, that's not an ad. But like, since the dawn of going to see sports played, they have been ads. They have been ads. They've just gotten better at it and more intrusive, but like, go look at any, photos and stuff of games from the 20s. The only VPN I would trust is Mulvad, and they don't do sponsorships. I use Tailwind, actually. No, like NHL. Yeah, man. Why are VPN crap? No, they're not crap. I don't think they are, but I wouldn't work with, like, WebShark or whatever. But that's not the same thing, Machu. I recall from Midnight Local that doctor who isn't your jam, but I am curious. Have you seen and liked the Good Place series? Nah. I watched it. I was not into it. It's not my jam. It's not my sense of humor. The ancient Romans have had advertising, of course, exactly. Remember Wireshark? Sure. I drove my broker nuts. Yeah, exactly right. Like, and do I make mistakes? I've made mistakes. I have made mistakes. Sometimes people offer me enough money that I have to make a mistake. Sometimes YouTube revenue is really bad that like a particular sponsor I'd said no to a couple times, like, can we find a way to feel good about these guys? It happened once. Oh, I just don't like it. I don't like the sense of humor in it, The Good Place. I don't like it. I'm not into it. Everything about it, like, it's too, is that Chuck Lorre? I don't know. It's like too sitcom-y, but in like a way that I don't appreciate. Who are YouTube channels you want to collaborate with? I want to collaborate with Max Miller. I would love to do something with Make and Drink. I would love to do something with basically anybody who wants to, but the reality is that I don't watch a lot of YouTube. I don't watch a lot of YouTube. I just don't. I would get sucked in, and I don't really have time like that, I would love to work with Veritasium, but like I don't know how or when that would happen. I'd love to work with Nile Red, but I don't know how or when that would happen. Like those big channels, man, you can't just like get them. Like those guys have. I'm not even gonna say agents. Like Veritasium is owned by private capital, I think Nile Red might be too. Would you sell a How to Drink ice cube stamp? I don't think so. So that's like what I'm talking about. It's like, do you need that? Stamped ice cubes are ephemeral in a way that blows my mind. I feel weird about like making an ice cube stamp and accepting money for it. I will sell you the How to Drink shirt though. The How to Drink shirt, the customer is always wrong shirt, which I designed myself, is available htdshop.com. And it is made entirely in the Carolinas from dirt to shirt. It's grown, spun, cut, sewn, garment dyed, pre-shrunk, ring spun, all that jazz. And it is garment dyed. I don't have a macro lens that I can show you, but the pattern here is in the fibers of the shirt. It is not on top of it like a screen print. It's totally wonderfully flexible. Like you don't even feel it. It's incredible. I love Nile Red too. Oh, I'm so glad Mike went back to school. That's great. I wonder what he's doing. I should shoot him a text. Am I a fan of factory building and automation games? Any Factorio satisfactory? I played Factorio for a hot minute. Wait a minute, you interrupted my damn spiel here, man. I gotta do my spiel. Anyway, I only have like 130 of these left, I think. Check out that at howtodrinkshop.com. We also have pins there. We have coasters. Hold on, where are the coasters at? I gotta pimp these coasters out. Hold on. These are cool. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hang on, gang. Hang on. Lots of YouTubers sell coasters, but not like me. I've made a set of coasters. Those are on there. And what I decided we could do is, first off, we're going to do 5 in a pack. They're thick cork. I really like a cork coaster. If I'm using a coaster, I want it to be cork because this is an effective coaster, I've had some like ceramic ones and stuff like that are like more ornamental than functional. These are nice. You can slam a drink down on it. Nothing's going to break. They're nice and they're quiet. I like that. And of course, they're kind of absorbent, which is the idea here. I don't really have a How to Drink logo in my opinion. I'm working on that. I know you might say, that's the How to Drink logo. Nope, that's a word mark that I made up in about 5 seconds. I don't like it. But we took a bunch of inside jokes and stuff from the show and put them on coasters. So when you buy the coasters, you get a pack of 5. You get Ranger Greg, you get Macaca, the Malort aficionados celebrating aggressive cocktails across America, which is a pin that's very popular. I see people buying them in like blocks. I think they're bartenders giving them out to like regulars and stuff. You get the Always Wrong. You get Greg's Grogs. This is like a real win for me. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there apparently is an Easter egg deeply hidden in the Dungeons and Dragons movie that's a reference to me. Wow, blows my mind. And the How to Drink word mark. We are working on a whole other thing. Do they stick to the bottom of your glass when you pick it up? Why, no, they don't. Monorail, monorail, monorail. Do you make your own flannels? Yeah. That's hard. Flannels are tough. Like, I mean, to make like a flannel. Oh, I'd like to do something with Steve. He's a cool guy too. I mean, I'd love to work with any bartending channel, of course. I just think that when people talk about collabs, it's like you kind of want to get outside of your niche to like, and that's true of all of us, right? Like, I'd work with them, but like probably the same people already watch each other's channels, which is fun. It's fun. Collabs are a lot of work though. You want some ROI on that. I think we did a Screaming Viking. I know I did a Cheers drink. Maybe it was an Open Grave. No, we did the Screaming Viking with the bruised cucumber. We did that. It's old. Old. Hello, Brazil. When will you open a tiki bar? Take my money. No, I'm not going to open a bar. I would license my name and then do like the menu and consult, but I will not open a bar and run it because that is too much work and I'm not into it. Is there a tutorial for the HTTP app anymore? I've tried using it as a cocktail book, but so Kuchinka 4062. No, there's no tutorial. What there is I've been working pretty feverishly on making it better, and I plan to have a new version, an updated version out. I'm going to give myself 2 weeks, but I expect it to be much faster than that, possibly within days. It's going to be a cleaned up data set. I'm working on new interfaces for it and a better UI. The data set is the main problem. So we got to clean up the data set, and I've got a couple of tools in testing to help with that. The data set is generated programmatically, which is important to me, right? Like I didn't want to make a cocktail app that was like here's a dogma of the cocktails. It's a companion to the show. It expands as the show makes episodes on its own. And that makes it very difficult. So there's like a lot of bad data in there, a lot of good data, but there's some stuff that has to be cleaned up in there. And so that's probably part of what the problem is that you're looking at. So I have been developing new tools that will fix it. In addition to that, I've got some new UI stuff going on. Does it have a cocktail of the day? It should, it could soon. Sure, there's no reason it couldn't do that, but I didn't want to clutter the UI until I refined it. And right now the UI is a cluttered mess. So I want to refine that. Then we can start adding new features. The one thing that's in there that I don't know how many people are using it or not, but I love it, is if you go into the app, and I'm actually logged out because I haven't used it in a minute, but there's like a camera button on your phone. You can get it on the desktop too, but if you take that and point a picture at your bottles, it'll add it to your collection. So, because you have an inventory on there now. Hold on a second. Where is my app? See, this is the problem. So this is a huge problem. I can't get back into my own app right now because of the stupid Patreon bug that I cannot fix. So that's the other thing that we're fixing is once the UI is cleaned up and the data set is cleaned up, and these things are happening fast, I am going to rapidly start making mobile, like iOS and Android native versions. And then that will fix a lot of things. So, because the biggest problem most people have is logging in, because if you have a Patreon app on your phone, the HTTP app authenticates through Patreon because it's for patrons. And then if the app opens for that, it can't pass a token back to a browser. So your authentication fails. And there's like a trouble logging in thing on there, and it tells you what you got to do, which is a pain in the butt. You just have to delete Patreon off your phone for 5 seconds, do your authentication, and then you can put Patreon back on and you're good to go. Weird question. Would interpreting anime titles into drinks fit the show? I think it'd be fun too. I've done anime on the show a couple times. I'm not like an anime fan, but like I'll tell you what, it wouldn't do well. Nobody would watch it. I know you think that they would, but they wouldn't. Not framed that way. If I could come up with a framing, but I can't right now, that would actually work, then sure. But like my content does not get served out to people who are looking for that, and I don't know the people are looking for that, and those people don't know that they're looking for that either, by the way, which we talked about earlier. But for whatever reason, I know that's going to be a bomb on my channel. It's a lot of work. And so I don't want to do stuff that's going to be bombs. All right. The trouble of authentication is a pain of being a web developer. Yeah, I know. Thank you. But yeah, I'm working on an iOS native version. I want to get the web version in better shape first. And then iOS and Android native will be following right on its heels. Drinks for each D&D class. I wanted to do an episode I was working on for drinks 4 alignment chart. Maybe I'll revive that idea. I actually own a place with a commercial lease on the ground floor, but it's in a school zone, so I can't get an alcohol permit. Huh. I'm thinking about doing a dice set. What do you, okay, Meredith and I have been talking about this. This is a product we want to do this year. I want to do Always Wrong and Always Right cocktail dice, which will probably be 4 dice that you can roll to make cocktails. It's kind of silly, funny idea. Always Wrong cocktails and Always Right cocktails. That's fun. But I also was thinking, I've always wanted to do like a rules supplement for potion miscibility, which is a thing from like old days of D&D, where if you like drank 2 potions at the same time, there was a miscibility chart that would like make them go crazy. And so I want to basically do a rule set like that and have a D&D dice set that goes with it. Have I been playing anything? I have not tried Mugenics. My brother-in-law loves it. It sounds creepy. I have been playing Fallout 2 again. I just finished another playthrough of Fallout 1. I've been playing Fallout 2 in my bed. Then I might bring myself to do 3. I kind of want to do the whole series again, actually, in a weird way. I was like literally stuck in bed for like a week and a half. I do mean D&D dice. So if we do, so the Always Wrong dice and Always Right dice, I think would be a set of 6ers each. And then if I do the miscibility rules, yes, that would go along with a high-end set, D&D set. But, you know. Use D&D dice, each number correlates to an ingredient. They're 2 different products, honestly, and they're for different markets, in my opinion. I think that the Always Wrong Right dice are cheap, and I think the D&D dice are like for D&D aficionados, very limited run, and they're not cheap. Honestly, they're going to be like fancy resin dice or something. Play Esoteric Ebb and Discworld Elysium. Okay, maybe. I don't know if I'm ever going to get around to that, but you know, when I play video games, when my wife falls asleep, we watch SCTV, and then she falls asleep in bed, and then I whip out my laptop and play some Fallout, and then I fall asleep. Potion miscibility was in 3.5? I'm thinking about like AD&D and before. Okay, good to know, Kachinka. I'm working on all that right now, so like in a few days, hopefully that will no longer be the case. Do I have any uranium glass cocktail glasses? Not that I'm aware of. But do you play vanilla or modded? The Fallout 2 I'm playing is Restoration, is fully restored. I never played any modded Fallout 3 on account of I played that on a PS3, I guess. I have played New Vegas pretty heavily modded, but like I don't know. I'm weird about mods because like I don't want to mess with the game mechanics too much. I certainly don't mind graphical upgrades because like they don't touch game mechanics, but I'm hesitant to fuck around with game mechanics. Do you like Vampire the Masquerade? I used to play a lot of Vampire the Masquerade. I've explained THACO to several younglings, and they look at me like I'm explaining how a telegraph works. So one of the weirdest things I ever did was Carlos Maza, who I haven't talked to in years, I hope he's doing well, invited me to do a live D&D session on stage in New York with him, Chelsea Manning, the guy from Climate Town, and a female YouTuber vlogger whose name escapes me at the moment. And I played a fighter who was like a super bro, and when he was like, describe your characters, and it was like he's wearing a t-shirt that says THACO, which is an acronym for his workout plan called Total Health and Combat Optimization. That got a laugh. You guys can use that, Total Health and Combat Optimization. Liquid core dice. I don't know if that's a real thing. Liquid cores in dice would alter the way they roll, too. Yes, the Chelsea Manning. What is your favorite mod for Fallout New Vegas? It's been a really long time since I don't know. I don't know. I have no clue. Barbroian is a fantastic concept. Yeah. Is New California like a whole storyline mod? That's cool. Does anybody like the Fallout show? What did you guys think? I thought season 1 was better than season 2. By about, I think season 2 was about half as good as season 1. I don't know. Have you tried Hades 2? No. I've thought about it though. I did like Hades 1 quite a bit. I don't think Missability was in 3.5. I think it was AD&D, and maybe even not even AD&D, but like Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know that I ever played Missability rules, honestly. Yeah, season 1 was a little better. It's, you know, and I should have known this. It's going to fall into the whatever. Which Nolan is he? And Lisa Joy trap. That's what I think is going to happen. Where nothing ever actually happens. Carlos Mazza, like How to Be a Hopeless YouTuber. Carlos Mazza, yeah. It was a different time, man. Season 2 is all set up, no payout. Yeah. You think it died after 76? Interesting. Oh, that's awesome. Dude, Bunny, I want to run D&D for my daughter so bad, and she wants me to run it for her too. But like, you know, one-on-one D&D sucks. And I'm trying to get her to get some kids over here to like, you know, be like a team and stuff like that. But like the kids can't do that anymore. The kids don't just like, you can't just get kids to hang out. They've all got clubs and camps. Hold on a minute. I'm Andy Rooney, and I got a bone to pick with parents these days. Your kids are too busy. It really grinds my gears. They're too busy. They can't just hang out and play fucking D&D. Your kids can't call up on the phone and be like, "Hi, Mr. Smithens, can Sally come to the phone? Because I want to know if I can ride my bike over." Like, it sucks, dude. It sucks. And so I'm working on that. I'm working on the kids, taking them back to the 90s, baby. Actually, here's a crazy thing. There is a trend going around right now. I don't know about a trend, but, you know, I'm not on Facebook, but my wife is. Landlines. So there's this company called Tin Can, and they make a little landline device. It's cute looking. You pay into their VoIP service, and it allows you to lock it down so it can only receive or dial out to certain numbers. And I thought, that's great. And there's like a whole thing with like parents kind of bonding together to get, we're gonna get landlines so that our kids can have the experience of talking to each other, because we don't want to get our kids cell phones. I am not getting my kid a cell phone. And happily, my kids don't really want them either at this point, because they see them like cigarettes. They're like, "Oh, you mean that disease that my dad has that he uses to make money?" Yes. And it's funny, when I told her we're getting a landline, she was really excited. But like, I looked at this Tin Can thing, and it's like 10 or 15 bucks a month, and it's cute and everything, and it's only one line. And I was like, I don't really want to be stuck in their ecosystem, because I think they're going to go out of business, but hopefully they don't. But when we bought the house, I don't know why, but the brilliant people who owned it before me, I hate every single thing that these fucking people did to this house, except for this one thing. They wired up every room. They wired up every room with like triplex, coax, Ethernet, and phone lines to every room in the house, back to like a closet in the basement. So I was able to do a hardwired network to every room with multiple access points on day one. It was fantastic. But the phones, there's phones everywhere. And I was like looking at all these phone lines, and my kids forever, you know, when you have little kids, they're like, "Can you help me make like a pulley message system to send messages to different rooms? Can you, whatever, can you do this and that?" And like at one point I was like looking into like setting up bank like vacuum tubes, but like we had all these phones, and I was like, I wonder if I can just set this thing up with old phones that can call from room to room. And so I got a PBX, a Panasonic Hybrid PBX off of eBay from the 80s or 90s, installed that in the basement, got it working, and then got a bunch of old telephones and put them into every room in the house, and they loved it. It's so much fun. When like my friends' kids come over, they love playing with it, and there's like running and screaming and stuff. And like you have to teach them how to use it. They have no fucking clue how to use these phones. I got a bunch of rotaries. I got a couple touch tones. A few of them need to be replaced. And so I was looking at this thing, Tin Can, and I was like, I have a phone ecosystem. I don't want theirs. So I swapped out my PBX. I got a Grand Stream 8-channel ATA, and I bought for $80. I got like a Dell mini computer used off of eBay or Facebook Marketplace. $80, I know that. And now I've got that running free PBX. So I've got a software PBX that pulls the phone lines, I can't remember these words anymore, off the Grand Stream, and I run my own phone company now. And so for $1 a month, I have a VoIP line that can be reached into or out of every room in the house. But I also run the PBX, so it's like totally whitelist only, so that only certain numbers nobody can dial in unless I program it so that they can dial in, which is great. The phones never ring, and when they do ring, it's somebody you want to talk to. So we got the landline. Kids were so pumped when I told them I was getting the landline. They were like, yeah, this is amazing. So I am planting seeds. I am planting seeds for a world in which my kid can go to the kitchen. Hi, is Allie there? And we talk about this with other parents and stuff like that. My one friend was like, you got to do that in my house. I want that. I was like, hell yeah, I want that. I want to help you with that. The allow list is the real winner there. Absolutely. Actually, oh my God, I almost want to go get it, but it's in the other room. Well, I'll just pimp my Patreon right now. I acquired my holy grail phone. I love old telephones, just do. And like kind of found out that like as I become an older man, restoring them is like a hobby of mine. And I was just like, every once in a while, I look on Facebook Marketplace for old phones. And this guy had a phone for sale for $75. I've never seen anything like this in my life. It is a 1920s Western Electric wall intercom, which has, I always forget the name of that, but like the ear horn and the wall mount, you have to, and with a dialer. Oh yeah, all the rotary phones are on the Grand Stream. Grand Stream handles them all. I don't deal with Asterisk because free PBX is the front end for Asterisk, so I just work in free PBX. It's a lot easier. But anyway, with a dialer. So almost all of these phones, so it's a 12-station intercom. So you would pick it up, and there's like still has all the old stuff on it. You pick it up and you'd be like, the billiard room. Hello, billiard room. But because this phone was installed probably in the mid to late 20s, and that customer decided, I want to pay for auto dialing service, which means not talking to an operator, but just dialing, Western Electric, the field installer, not some hack, put a dialer on this phone. You'll never find one like this. I've never seen one like this in my life. It is a factory installed dialing wall 12-channel intercom, right? I love this phone. I got it for $75. If you look for phones without the dialer online that are in good shape from this, they go for like $500. Like, it's an amazing thing. So I've had to do so much just like figuring on this, because the ringer on it doesn't work like a modern phone. It doesn't work like a POTS phone, plain old telephone service. Because POTS, you guys want to learn about two-wire telephone service? POTS, I forget all the voltages off the top of my head, but like there's basically an idle voltage when you pick it up that is DC, that makes the dial tone, right? And that's like really low voltage DC. But then when you dial out, it changes to a different voltage and sends pulses and stuff like that. But when you get ringed in, that DC line, since, I don't know, 1930, turns into an AC line that's pumping, I think, 50 volts, which is weird, because that's how the ringer works. This phone doesn't do that. It has other wires, right? So modern phones, ringer voltage will light you up, and it's AC, is only 2-wire. This phone, really complicated. Ring is 48 volts, okay, 50, 48, whatever. In practice, actually, if you really want to get into this, it was whatever, because the further you were from the central office, the lower it was going to be. I digress. So it's like, they're 90. There's like a range, actually. There's a safe operating range. But this doesn't work like that. It has inside of this wooden cast, this thing is so heavy. There is 2 terminals for RBAT, positive, negative. And doing all this figuring on it, like what the fuck is that? Long story short, a lot of parts of my phone, the wires were old and had to be fixed. And it has a whole matrix switching system in there for the intercoms to transfer. It's crazy. This thing is crazy. Long story short, to make this phone work, I have to get a ring detector, which is like in my cart right now, and a power supply that I can power the ring detector at 12 volt, that when it rings, it will trip a, actually the power supply I'm gonna get is 30 volt. 30 volts is the magic number, 30 volts DC for ring on this. 30 volts direct current. How does the ringer work on direct current? It is one bell and one hammer, and when the magnet pulls it this way, it breaks the circuit. So it's a chopper. So it's just chop, 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 DC. That's how it rings. And so 30 volts is the magic number. And so I need to get a 30 volt 2 amp power supply with a buck converter. And one side on the buck converter is going to power the ring detector, which is 12 volt. And then we're going to use a relay to open up the buck, the unadulterated 30 volt for the ringer when it rings. And then the phone will ring. Very exciting stuff. Very exciting stuff. Defining feature of older tech. Much more slop in operating margins. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, the voltage should be just about anywhere. Yeah. I mean, think about, like, you're talking about old school modems. How about audio couplers? The one like that literally they use in war games where you put the telephone on the thing for the phone to talk. Who is your barber? Why, you got a problem? You got a problem with my barber? What's wrong with my barber? Yep, breaks the circuit when the hammer pulls back. Yeah, because like, you know, there's a pair of coils there, and yeah, the hammer pulls back, it breaks the circuit, and then the spring pulls it back in and it makes the circuit. And they call it a chopper. Chops the circuit. It's incredible. And it's run off a battery. Wow, how did it? You had one for your Apple II, 2 Plus. But think about that though, right? That audio coupler modem, we're talking about how voltages would change from distance to central office and stuff like that. The volume in the thing would change, and it's listening and talking, right? That's so weird, man. So weird. Anyway, I love old phones. They're so cool. Sounds like pseudo tech connections dive into phone terminals. Tech Connections is a channel I would love to do a collab with. I would love to do a collab with Tech Connections. I don't live super far from the original Bell Labs, the Bell Labs, which is now called Homedell's Bell Works, which is also Lumon. So if you ever watch the show Severance on Apple TV, that insane building they work in, it's a real place. It's kind of a sort of a shopping mall you can go walk around in. It's like a co-working shopping mall, but just like the architecture, if you're into like modern, postmodern brutalism or modernist brutalism and stuff, like it's an incredible place. And there's like some weird old phone artifacts and stuff there. It's amazing how big that place is to think about. Just like, yep, this whole place was a laboratory filled with weirdos doing crazy shit with phones. And radar, probably. It was funny too, in season 2, they mention that they mention in season 2 that the water tower outside is meant to look like a transistor, whatever. And it is. That's a true story. I was actually wondering if they were ever going to mention that on the show. I'd known that my whole life because they invented it there. So they made the water tower look like one. I think it's a transistor. Bell Labs is where computer science students in the 80s fantasized about working rather than Google or Microsoft. Yeah, pretty cool. Bell Labs, where cosmic background microwave radiation was detected due to pigeon poop. Yep. Yeah, there's not a giant head of Kier on one side of it, but yeah. How'd you guys feel about season 2 of Severance? Meredith and I didn't love it that much. I just joined here for the first time. I realized you're a New Jersey local. That's right. Oh, you work at Bell Labs or at Bell Works? That's cool. Cell phone connections are terrible because it was built for wires, Shane. Not your fancy higgledy-piggledy briefcase phones. Good old twisted pairs of copper. That's what we got. I think I liked season 2 of Severance more. No, I don't know. Then I was to say of season 2 of. That's a good question. Of I'm trying to figure out what I was going to say here. Fallout, maybe. I hate Pluribus. That show sucks. You suck. Hate it. I got like 2 episodes in and I was like, there's maybe 3. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. If you're enjoying Pluribus, I applaud you. Good luck. Good for you. I'm very happy for you. I'm not going to finish it. I don't want to. Why? Why? I don't owe them anything. I don't owe them shit. Pluribus is better than Severance? Not in my opinion. My wife loves High Potential. Nah, we're not bringing back podcast. Sorry. I never watched Breaking Bad. I watched season 1 of Breaking Bad and I lost interest. I never saw Better Call Saul. I'm not a Lone Gunman. Oh, that show, Lone Gunman. Wow. Yeah, he did do that. I loved that show when I was a kid, and then, of course, it got canceled immediately. But now when I look back at it, I'm like, Lone Gunman was like the worst part of X-Files. X-Files was really good when it was made in Canada, and if you know that, it's like, oh shit, yeah, it's a new show. They like moved the production to LA, and it like on a dime turned into a different show, and it sucked. Tell us you'll never watch 11/22/63. Nope. Is that one with the guy who liked to kiss the students? Severance thinks it's a lot smarter than it is. I wonder about that squishy hobo. I think it might think that. That is an assessment that I wonder about myself. Yeah, I got no show hype in me, Marty. I agree with that. Okay. It is what it is. Gives you Lost vibes. That's what Fallout is giving me in a weird way because of, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, like the writers don't know where it's going. I wonder if that's true. I hope they don't. I think that Fallout, I have that problem with. I never watched Lost, but what I understand about Lost, that the Lost problem is that we don't know where it's going. I think that Fallout has that issue because I don't think Lisa Joy and brother Nolan, I think they suck. I really do. I think that they make bad ideas. Yeah, I find myself rewatching old movies and shows. Well, yeah, it might be the Stephen King novel about traveling back in time, but I'm sure it was starring that guy whose name I can't remember. Yeah, Westworld, man. I kind of liked season 1 of Westworld, and then like season 2 of Westworld, I was really checked out. It's like, this is extremely, extremely bad. And then it just got. I tried season 3. Is season 3 the when Jesse Pinkman got onto it? Because I really hated that. James Franco. That's who I was talking about. James Franco. Yeah, he got in trouble because he was doing an acting class that was basically like forced makeout sessions with James Franco. Pinkman is in the pilot? We're talking about 2 different things, man. You high? We're talking about Westworld. That guy, that actor, he shows up. Oh, Labyrinth? I've seen Labyrinth like 8 times over, probably, at least, yeah. Maybe more than that. I don't think season 1 of Westworld is some of the best TV ever done either. I think okay, so Westworld has what I consider to be, it's bad writing. It's hack writing. It's hack writing that you can do on time to a budget. And that makes it not my thing. And the reason is that, like, I'm just going to actually turn this off because I'm not going to use this camera again, and it's kind of just making me nervous sitting here. You guys want to see the rig? Look at, here's the rig. Hold on a second. I will show you guys. I forget that. Hold on. This will be fun. But I do think, yeah. So like, this is the same problem I had with, what was the one? The one with the rapture in it, where everybody disappeared. I can't remember the name of that right now. It's not expensive. That's the funny thing. The Leftovers, I think the Leftovers, where it's like, hey, this is the protagonist of the character, and the whole plot hinges on me not telling you a basic fact about this character. Like, you just write a boring idea, a basic idea, and then take one thing out of that idea that would have been essential to understanding it, and just don't tell people that. And now, whenever you reveal that, what a twist! And so, like, you can just do that on schedule. You don't need a great idea. You can just take an idea and make it seem great by putting your hand behind your back. I fucking hate it. It's so bad. It's so bad. What a twist! Yeah, I know. I always hear that. I like Peacemaker, although, again, season 3, kinda not my favorite. Here's what I like. I don't like shows that are made by, I don't like content that is smart content for dumb people. I like dumb content for smart people. My favorite movie that I have seen in a very long time is the 1975 version of Death Race 2000. That is a perfect film. It is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. Death Race 2000, 1975. Perfect. It's the best movie. Best movie. I think one of my other favorite movies of all time, I don't think, I know, is Death Race 2000, 1975. Great film. Incredible film. It's a perfect movie. It's brilliant. The Sixth Sense is a bad movie, though. That's the thing. Like, and that's the thing is, like, right, the movie is valueless once you know the secret box. So, like, it's valueless. That was the trick. And without that, it's nothing. It doesn't work. There's no reason to rewatch it. So, no, what was it that I liked? Forget it. Right, So Stupid It's Smart. Yep. My wife and I have been watching SCTV, Second City Television, seasons 1. We just started season 2. I have it on a little bit of it on my Plex. It is rough looking. And you didn't love Night of the Comet? Well, I'm sorry. I like Repo Man a lot. I mean, like, if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. But I like John Waters. John Waters makes great movies. I love John Waters. John Waters is like, yeah, that's right. That's right. I like John Waters. If you like Death Race 2000, Married Again? I have always been married. I like Strange Brew is okay. Actually, I don't think that movie's as well. So Bob and Doug can't show up until season 4 of SCTV because in seasons 1, 2, and 3, Rick Moranis is not a character. He's not a performer. Hold on, I'll show you guys the rig real quick. I don't know if I can roll it right now because of all the weight I have on it. Oh boy, that's that heavy. Oh, it's just like picking up the carpet now. Hold on, we gotta be careful. We gotta be really careful. We gotta be careful. I should just take these 2 bags off. Okay, that's better. So you're not going to be able to see the whole rig, but basically there's a light stand right here that's just out of the frame. And what I did was, I took a pair of these monitor arms, old monitor arms, and I put particular piece of equipment up here that was built for something else with a quick release, and my RS4 mini gimbal on it. And although the spring has to be tensioned a little bit more right now, this little guy can follow me in real time and be swung into different camera positions, and I can just like do an over the head shot. Like if I need to do an overhead, I can really easily, this is a hand signal that tells it to stop face tracking. You can just pitch it that way and it's in an overhead. I can make it higher too by doing a few different tricks with it and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I can't believe it works because the weight on it is insane. I'm upgrading the stand at some point. If you want to see how it was built, there's a Patreon exclusive video about it on my Patreon at patreon.com/howtodrink, where you can get access to our private Discord, which is a really cool community. You get access to exclusive content. You get episodes without ads. The camera is a Canon EOS R6 Mark II. I always forget which R it is. You get access to our private Discord, which is a really cool community. You get access to exclusive content. You get pins. We have the pins. You get a pin every quarter. A lot of stuff going on over there. And I think I'm probably going to be migrating the show a little more towards Patreon and away from YouTube. But I love this thing. I think that this is like honestly been one of the coolest pieces of kit I've put together for the show in a while. I want to get a new stand for. I ordered a new stand for it because the stand that's on there sucks. Anyway, been forever since I saw you live. Well, thank you very much. Topa Tomato. Have you ever had one of those super expensive $100 rums they keep behind the glass cases? What are those like? I don't think so. Not that I know off the top of my head. Meredith's in the chat. Meredith, everybody. Meredith, she's in the chat. We got a Meredith down here in the chat. Meredith, she's coming around. Hanging out in the chat. Oh, I'll take that guy. Park it. So actually, I'll just pop this sucker off too for safety's sake. There we go. See, it's a pretty standard thing. Turn it on. It's a DJI camera gimbal. Boop, boop, boop. You can do like different kinds of moves on it, and you can track things with it. Does all kinds of cool things. I watched sea beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhauser Gate. Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good flick. Yeah, it bounces a lot. It does make me nervous, but I've really pushed on it to stress test it. It's pretty good. Have you lost some weight? No, I've gained some weight. Do dirty deeds done dirt cheap? Sure. Hold on a second. Dirty deeds and done dirt cheap. Dirty deeds and done dirt cheap. I'm trying to remember. Wait, hold on. What are the lyrics? I got to look up the lyrics. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. I don't want to lead into it the wrong way. Dirty deeds done dirt cheap lyrics. It's funny, well, the first time I heard that song on the radio, I thought it was about two guys named Dirty Deeds and the Dunderchi. And I was like, oh man, these two badasses. If you're having trouble with the high school head, he's giving you the blues. You want to graduate, but not in his bed. Here's what you got to do. Pick up the phone. I'm always home. Call me anytime. Just ring 362436. Hey, I lead a life of crime. HCD the musical needs to be a thing. You're having trouble with the high school head. He's giving you the blues. You wanna graduate on his bed. Here's what you gotta do. Pick up the phone, I'm always home. Call me anytime. Just ring 3, 6, 4, 3, 2, hey, I highly laugh. All right, there you go. That's not a very singerly song. You can't really lean into it as well as, like it's just kind of a talking song. You know what I used to do, drove my kids nuts, is when my daughter was much younger and Frozen was hot shit. I used to do it as Ronnie James Dio everywhere we drank. Wherever we had to listen to it, they had to listen to me doing it as Dio. It also, that song sounds a hell of a lot like Total Eclipse of the Heart when it comes on. Every single time Frozen comes on, I'm like, Total Eclipse? Oh, no, never mind. I did not see the remake of Running Man. How do the Frozen lyrics go? We'll do Dio. Frozen. We'll do Ronnie James Dio Frozen. But you have to subscribe to my Patreon so I can do Frozen as Ronnie. Wait, what is the song? What's the damn song? It's Let It Go. Lyrics. Snow glows white on the mountain, there's not a footprint to be seen. A kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm the queen. The wind is howling like this swirling storm inside. Couldn't keep it in, and it knows I tried. Not very good. I need the music to back me up because I don't, I'm just a cappella. I don't know. You need more gruff? Oh, I thought he was a little cleaner. Hold on. I'm thinking of maybe a younger Dio. That has no right to work this well. It is. It's a Dio song. It's Dio singing Total Eclipse of the Heart. That is what that song is. I did not see Beetlejuice the musical or Beetlejuice 2. I didn't see either of those. So here's the thing about Let It Go. This is not an empowering song. I know it sounds like it is. But this is a hubris song in, your musical myth making, right? This is not a triumph. She is at her lowest at this point because when she lets it go, the world freezes to death, right? She is abandoning her responsibilities. People are dying, and she's saying, fuck it, I'm free. This is a villain song, and it really actually is, okay? She is not allowed to let it go. She does not have that option, okay? She has to rise to the occasion. She has to come back, okay, to break the curse. So you're singing like, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, can't hold it back anymore. Let it go, turn away and slam the door. I don't care what they're gonna say, let the storm rage on. Cold never bothered me anyway. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, like, that isn't like I'm a bad boss bitch who's running things. That is, I'm an evil boss bitch, right? So. Can you freeze something like Elsa? Oh, you know what I got over here. Maybe. I need my PPE for that. I might be all out. She knows I got a big bucket of liquid nitrogen over there. What would I freeze? Cherries? I could freeze some cherries. It sounds just like detonator. I want you to make and freeze it by pointing at it while singing, Let It Go! Let me go see if I have something. Hold on. If I have something, you bitch. Are we all out? Might be all out of this goodies. Yeah. All right, we're not all out of liquid nitrogen, it turns out. All right, guys, stay tuned, and I'm gonna make some instant Angostura ice cream in this bowl. Let it go! But I have to be right back. I need to go get a few things, so stand by. We'll be right back at when I figure out what button to push. Playback. Playback. Yeah, that's the button. I'll be right back. I've returned. So let's make some ice cream spontaneously, instantaneously. I was gonna make Angostura ice cream, but you know, I've got this matcha liqueur, so maybe we'll do that. Wait, well, what are we gonna do? Hold on a second. Why don't we get pretty weird? What should we make our ice cream out of? A Trinidad sour sorbet. Yeah. Do I have a big bottle of Ango, like, at the ready? Chickadee-doo-doo, chickadoo. Lefroy ice cream? Ugh. That'd be gross. No, let's just do what's right in front of me. We'll do the... This is matcha liqueur that I got in the mail. We'll make it into ice cream. Does this count, Meredith? Just to show you guys what I've got here. This is a 10-liter Dewar flask full of liquid nitrogen. And it's been in there for weeks. I cannot believe it's lasted this long. I bought it for an episode, and it turned out that it is not the right way to go for Nuka Quartz. Nuka Quartz doesn't need liquid nitrogen. The thing that I wish I had... So here's what we're going to do. I have a spoon. We have matcha. We're going to pour some matcha in here. matcha liqueur. Basically right now we're going to make the ice cream base. We're going to add some heavy cream. And some simple syrup. Oh, that has a lot of simple syrup. Yeah, it's ice cream. Very good. A little more of this. This is actually a thermal this is like a double layered vacuum bowl. It's dented on one side because of shipping problems, but whatever. I'm gonna whisk it all together. By the way, I don't know how to do this. I'm just guessing. I've kind of seen people do it. I'm gonna put on my nerd face. The only real scary part is your eyes. You don't want to get this in your eyes. Oh, wait a minute. Ah. Oh, wow, this is going to be a pain in the ass. All right. Hold on a second. If I'm going to do this, you guys got to sign up for Patreon. You got to buy shirts. You got to sign up for Patreon. Here comes the liquid nitrogen. We might have to do this a few times. You damn well better. Yeah, we need more cold. Come on. What? Shit, we got a little problem here. This guy can't get to the bottom, which is a brilliant design flaw. Come on. Ugh, come on. Ah, there we go. I don't think I can pour that doer. It's too big. Man. I've been to an ice cream parlor that makes your ice cream like this. You don't need these gloves. I kind of do because I'm reaching into the top of the Dewar flask because this is slightly too short, but you're right. I also, though, I feel like I have a responsibility to the internet anymore to like demonstrate like the right way to do things. Definitely dropped a little there. Getting to be some ice cream here. Close. I guess Meredith is probably thinking like, Greg, why are you not making this into an episode? There we go. Beautiful liquid nitrogen matcha ice cream. Look at that. Yep, because of Laden Frost. Oh man, that's good. My God. That's fucking fantastic. So, talking about PPE, it's not, the texture's a little bad because of the way I was getting the nitrogen in there, but it's still, this is really good. I think I just found an episode, Meredith. Oh man, that's good. It's really good. Yeah, you don't want it in your eyes, that's for sure. So, ice cream. Pretty cool, right? And it's full of booze. This could definitely be in the what to do with liquid nitrogen episode. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to eat my ice cream now. Thanks. Nah, I've been to ice cream parlors that do that. There's a place in Key West called Wicked Lick, and like, it's a crazy place. You go in and you ask for the ice cream, and they have like these taps. Like the texture is like cream. That, except for where if I had done the system better, it would have been better. But like where it worked right, it's the smoothest ice cream. I've had ice cream like this before. That's what I love about it so much. This place called Wicked Lick in Key West, where they make it, and they like literally have bar taps that dispense liquid nitrogen. So they put the ingredients in the bowl and then make the ice cream for you like that. It's really incredible. And I find that the texture of it is actually significantly better than like any ice cream. I don't know why. It just is. It's just super smooth. Which you like to try? Oh, did he? Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely not claiming to have invented this. Give me money. So you should buy an Always Wrong shirt from the HTD shop. I gotta go give this ice cream to my wife. She's probably gonna actually like this. just kind of like mixing it together here a little better. But look at that. It's perfect. Right, exactly. It's about ice crystal size and shapes of liquid nitrogen freezes it so damn fast that the crystals you're getting are as small as you can get. Exactly. It's so good. And you saw, like, I didn't even have a recipe. I was just like, nah, ingredients. Like, you know, normally when they make ice cream in like an ice cream churn, like you got to get that dialed in to get it to come out right. Like this was just like, bah, 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 perfect. Mm. Well, it's 6 o'clock, guys. I think I got to call it. Been doing this for a while. Oh man, Malort ice cream. We could do that. This is so good. My God, I can't put it down. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm also lactose intolerant. I forgot. I just learned this about myself, so I better put it down. Guys, thank you all so much for hanging out with me on this live stream. I got more episodes coming. I'm working on Nuka Quartz. I guess I'm going to do an episode on making ice cream. I'm working on a lot of other stuff. I'm always looking for more ideas. I know people say, like, Greg doesn't take suggestions. Do people say that? I don't know. But it's because, like, you know, not every suggestion is very good. But when I get a good one, I jump on it. Please check out hcdshop.com. Get yourself some of these wonderful and very unique how to drink coasters. Oh, look at that. Everybody will know that you're in on the joke when you have your Always Wrong skull coaster, or your customer is always wrong shirt, which I'm super proud of this shirt. And I want to do more shirts, more stuff coming from Orange Industries. But until then, guys, thank you all so much. I'm going to say good night and good luck. And thank you so much for hanging out with me and for making this all. Oh, you got the coasters? You like them? Thank you. All right, guys. I do ship to the UK, but be prepared for international shipping costs, man. Nobody can eat that. That's expensive. But yeah, we'll ship. Just got paid. All right, guys. I love you all. Good night. Bye.